Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am VC Pramod with the news at 9. The headlines. Economic Survey 2019-20 emphasizes on entrepreneurship and wealth creation at the grassroots. Projects growth at 6 to 6.5% for next fiscal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Economic Survey outlines a multi-faceted strategy to achieve a $5 trillion economy. President Kovind says abrogation of Article 370 and Article 35A pave way for equal development of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Union Budget 2020-21 to be presented tomorrow. A special Air India flight reaches Wuhan to evacuate Indians in wake of outbreak of novel coronavirus in China. Britain set to leave the European Union at 2300 GMT. And in cricket, India beat New Zealand via super over in the 4th T20 at Wellington. Lead series 4-0. Economic Survey 2019-20 is emphasized on entrepreneurship and wealth creation at the grassroots. It has suggested that industrial sector performance is a key to achieve the target of a $5 trillion economy. The Economic Survey 2019-20, tabled by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in Parliament today, also suggested sectoral initiatives for industrial revival. The survey has projected economic growth at 6 to 6.5% in the next fiscal. It called for more reforms for making it easier to do business in the country. The survey said for India to achieve a $5 trillion economy depends on promoting pro-business policies, strengthening the invisible hand of the market and ease of doing business. The Economic Survey gave a detailed analysis of the trends in India's infrastructure sector, which is necessary for growth. Power shortages, inadequate transport and poor connectivity affects overall growth performance. To achieve GDP of $5 trillion by 2024-25, India needs to spend about 100 lakh crore rupees on infrastructure. According to the survey, there is a significant jump of around 2.62 crore new jobs, with 1.21 crore in rural areas and 1.39 crore in urban areas. Over 69 lakh candidates have been trained under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana till November last year. The Economic Survey underscores various programs and legislative measures that are in place to encourage female participation in the economy. Talking exclusively to AIR News, Chief Economic Advisor Krishnamurthy Subramaniam said that India has certainly made substantial progress in improving ease of doing business.
While we have certainly made substantial progress in improving our ease of doing business, if you look at it quantitatively from being ranked 142 out of 190 countries in 2014, now we are 63rd. So from being in the bottom third to basically being possibly in the top third, we clearly have made progress. But what is important is that we need to be focusing on getting into the top 50 in these rankings, which the Honorable Prime Minister also mentioned it quite a few times. And so we've basically taken that particular desire very, very seriously.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the Economic Survey 2019-20 focuses on wealth creation for 130 crore Indians. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said it outlines a multi-faceted strategy to achieve a $5 trillion economy through enterprise, exports, ease of doing business and more. President Ramnath Kovind said abrogation of Article 370 and Article 35A related to Jammu and Kashmir has paved way for equal development of the regions, and people in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh have got rights on par with the rest of the country. He was addressing the joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament at Central Hall today.
संसद के दोनों सदनों द्वारा 2/3 बहुमत से संविधान के अनुच्छेद 370 और अनुच्छेद 35A को हटाया जाना न सिर्फ ऐतिहासिक है, बल्कि इससे जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख के समान विकास का भी मार्ग प्रशस्त हुआ है.
The President hailed the Citizenship Amendment Act as historic and said it has fulfilled wishes of Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Mr. Kovind said the mutual debate and discussion on any issue strengthens democracy, while violence during protests weaken it. Mr. Kovind highlighted several works done by the government at the ground level in the last 5 years, which has helped India's ranking on several international ranking indices. Lauding the contribution of farmers, the President said that bringing about a change in their lives is the priority of the government. Talking about the health initiatives, Mr. Kovind said Impact of the Ayushman Bharat scheme on the health sector of the country is visible. On women's safety, the President said that more than 600 one-stop centers have been set up in the country and a national database has been created to identify the perpetrators of crime against women. He asserted that the government is working with full strength and determination to free the country from the scourge of terrorism. He said the security situation in the northeast has also improved significantly due to the concerned efforts of the government. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that in his speech to both the Houses of Parliament, President Ramnath Kovind has lucidly highlighted India's successes in a wide range of sectors as well as how the fruits of development are transforming the lives of 130 crore Indians. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said the President also highlighted India's rising stature at the world stage, how the nation has overcome challenges pending for decades, and India's ethos of harmony, brotherhood as well as compassion. Union Budget 2020-21 to be presented tomorrow. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the budget in the Parliament at 11 a.m. for the upcoming financial year. This will be her second budget as Finance Minister. The budget is likely to draw the broad contours for Prime Minister's vision of making India a $5 trillion economy.
News Services Division of All India Radio is broadcasting day-long special programs on the Union Budget 2020. Tune into FM Gold channel on 100.1 MHz and our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official, for the pre-budget discussion, live broadcast of the Finance Minister's speech, an exclusive interview of Finance Minister to AIR, special budget bulletins and post-budget discussions with eminent experts in our studio on 1st of February 2020 from 10 a.m. onwards. Follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alert and our official Facebook page, All India Radio News, for quick updates round the clock.
A meeting of senior BJP leaders was held today in New Delhi on the opening day of budget session. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the meeting. Later, a meeting of National Democratic Alliance NDA was held. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said the alliance represents India's diversity and dynamism. He said NDA has made a mark for its pro-people and good governance-related development programs that are empowering millions. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com. Government has made elaborate arrangements for the evacuation of 366 Indian citizens from Wuhan city in response to the emergency situation that has arisen due to the outbreak of novel coronavirus in China. First special flight of Air India, Jumbo 747 with 15 cabin and 5 cockpit crew members reached Wuhan this evening for the evacuation. The double-decker aircraft is configured with 423 seats. A team of 5 doctors from Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital, 1 paramedical staff from Air India with prescribed medicines from doctors, masks, overcoats, packed food are boarded in the aircraft. A team of engineers and security personnel are also there in the aircraft. Another special flight may depart from Indira Gandhi International Airport, Delhi to Wuhan tomorrow. Health Ministry said the incoming Indian passengers will be quarantined for 14 days at the 2 quarantine centers set up at Manesar. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today spoke to Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi and thanked him for the cooperation extended by the Chinese government for the departure of Indian students and professionals from Wuhan. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu today convened a meeting of the leaders of all parties at his residence in New Delhi. He sought their cooperation for the smooth conduct of Upper House during the budget session. Mr. Naidu has also called ensuring submission of reports on demands for grants of various ministries by the department-related standing committees well before the budget is approved by the Parliament. A Delhi court today postponed execution of death warrants of the 4 convicts in the Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case till further order. Additional Sessions Judge Dharmender Rana passed the order on plea by the convicts, seeking a stay on the execution on February 1st. Earlier today, Supreme Court dismissed the plea filed by one of the 4 death row convicts in the Nirbhaya case, Pawan Gupta, seeking review of its order, rejecting his juvenility claim. The Supreme Court today agreed to examine Centre's plea for laying down victim and society-centric guidelines in cases of death penalty. The Centre had on 22nd January moved on application contending that the prevalent guidelines are only accused and convict-centric. A bench headed by Chief Justice S.A. Bobde sought response from various stakeholders on whose petition the Apex Court in 2014 had laid down guidelines relating to the execution of death row convicts. The guidelines were laid down in the Shatrughan Chauhan case in 2014. The bench, also comprising Justices B.R. Gavai and Suryakant, made it clear that the issue of conviction and death sentence connected with the Shatrughan Chauhan case would not be altered while dealing with the Centre's plea. The Election Commission has appointed former Indian Revenue Service Officer B. Murli Kumar as Special Expenditure Observer and former Indian Police Service Officer Mrinal Kanti Das as Special Police Observer for the Assembly elections in Delhi. As Special Expenditure Observer, Mr. Murli, in consultation with the Chief Electoral Officer Delhi, will be supervising and monitoring the work being done by the electoral machinery. BJP today released its manifesto for the Delhi Assembly elections, promising corruption-free governance and clean air and water in the national capital. The manifesto promises to provide tapped drinking water to every household by 2024 and provide employment to 10 lakh people in the next 5 years. It also talked about establishing a new skill development university in the city to ensure 100% employment to students. The manifesto also promises 10,000 crore rupees infrastructural scheme for the national capital. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists were killed today in a fierce gun battle with police at a toll plaza on Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. Talking to AIR News exclusively, Director General of Police Dilbag Singh said the terrorists were carrying weapons and large quantity of ammunition explosives.
It's a case of recent fresh infiltration, and they infiltrated last night from somewhere along international border, and they were carrying extra weapons also. And a Pakistan attempt once again to infiltrate Jaish-e-Mohammed and other terrorists from Pakistan toward this side has been thwarted.
IGP Jammu Zone Mukesh Singh told reporters that the truck was intercepted at Ban Toll Plaza this morning by a joint team of police and CRPF. The terrorists were armed with bulletproof jackets. Britain is to leave the European Union at 2300 GMT on Friday, 43 months after the country voted in a June 2016 referendum to leave the EU. In a video message to be released an hour earlier, Prime Minister Boris Johnson will call Brexit, which follows more than 3 years of political wrangling, a new dawn. 3 Brexit deadlines came and went before the British Parliament finally ratified the divorce agreement. Most EU laws will continue to be in force, including the free movement of people until the end of December, by which time the UK aims to have reached a permanent free trade agreement with the EU. India beat New Zealand via super over in the 4 T20 International after a second successive tie at Wellington today. Chasing the target of 166 set by India, New Zealand were coasting at one stage before the hosts were restricted to 165 for 7. In the super over, New Zealand made just 13 runs, a target which the Indians overwhelmed with 1 ball to spare. Earlier sent into bat, India posted 165 for 8, riding on Manish Pandey's 36 ball 50. The visitors now lead the 5-match series 4-0. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Economic Survey 2019-20 emphasizes on entrepreneurship and wealth creation at the grassroots, projects growth at 6 to 6.5% for the next fiscal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Economic Survey outlines a multi-faceted strategy to achieve $5 trillion economy. President Kovind says abrogation of Article 370 and Article 35A pave way for equal development of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Union Budget 2020-21 to be presented tomorrow. A special Air India flight reaches Wuhan to evacuate Indians in wake of outbreak of novel coronavirus in China. Britain set to leave the European Union at 2300 GMT. And in cricket, India beat New Zealand via super over in the 4 T20 at Wellington, lead series 4-0. And that's all in the news at 9. Good night.